Hello everybody, I'm Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online Shadowbringers. In the last episode, we went and defeated the first member of the Warring Triad, which is Sephiroth. Took care of that. And then our new friend here, Unukalhai, decided that it'd be a good idea to leak some information to the Empire in an effort to try to draw them into the therochemical research facility so that we could trap the Legatus and kill him. But he didn't tell us about any of that plan. So we were able to engage and fight the Legatus, but he did escape. Didn't get the information he was after. But, yeah, did not exactly go to Unukalhai's plan. But he probably should have told us what the plan was. But, with all of that now done, we now need to move on to the next member of the Warring Triad and deal with that one. That's what we're going to go ahead and start working on and hopefully get done today. So, let's just go ahead and talk with Unukalhai here and see what the next part of the plan is going to be. So, it's balance unto all is the quest. I think I positioned myself poorly. Alright, Warrior of Light, if this world is to survive, we must needs move forward with our plan. Another pillar of the Warring Triad must be toppled. The question of which has already been answered. Following our encounter with the Legatus, Archon Yustola detected erratic etheric waveforms emanating from the sector containing the icon Sophia, known simply as the Goddess in former times. Such readings can mean only one thing. She is close to awakening. Let us return to Law forthwith and put an end to this primal entity, primal deity, lest she rise again in all her terrible glory. Alright, so we are back off to Law and the flagship. So we'll just go ahead and fly over there and see if we can take care of this. Alright, so I guess I'll be right back once we're over there. Alright, here we are. Alright, we appear to be the first to arrive. Shall we await our colleagues here? That doesn't sound so good. Could the 6th Legion have returned? Ayame, Unukalhai. It's Kryl. We're under attack. Yustola and Eorzea have engaged the foe not far from here. Rarely is my shield thus tested. It would seem the Alligans have not been lax in their recruitment. Who are these people? You think so? Mayhap your arm merely withered whilst you lay idle. Still your tongue. We have stalled them long enough. With scales in hand, the goddess shall arise and righteously cast off her cursed pall, that she, with wrathful Worm King at her side, might judge and thence bring balance unto all. Hear my words in despair, Alligans. Our goddess is awoken. Your civilization has birthed the instruments of its own undoing. The Alligans don't exist anymore. 'Tis well that you are here, Ayame. I should like to know what our assailants were saying. You understood their words, did you not? Twas a Mericidian dialect, if mine ears do not deceive, though one which beareth scant resemblance to any spoken in recent times. As for our antagonist's meaning, I do gladly defer to those blessed with the echo. Alright, we can understand them because we have the echo. Especially Kryl. The one with the shield seemed to think we were Alligans. He recited what sounded like a verse of prophecy, then claimed that their goddess is awoken. Is that about right, Ayame? Pretty much. And might we assume that this deity of theirs is the very icon we've come to topple? Aye, from their tongue, their words, and their attire, 'tis like that our antagonists were Mericidian, thralls to the goddess Sophia, and victims of the Alligans' incursions. If, as Kryl claimeth, they thought us agents of Allag, 'tis little wonder that they sought to bring us low. You suggest that Sophia's servants have been liberated from their containment? Then we have no choice but to accept the word of her awakening as truth. Gods help us. The warring triad have proven formidable enough, and we've aroused them with a fraction of their true strength. Should Sophia break free at the peak of her powers, Ayame and her friends won't stand a chance. Oh, I don't know about that. Let us be about it then. Ayame, Kryl, Unukalhai, the three of you will make directly for Sophia's containment facility, or Eorzea and I will do what we can to occupy the Icon's thralls. Mrs. Kryl, do you perchance recall the words of the prophecy in its entirety? Let me see, I believe it was, with scales in hand the goddess shall arise, and righteously cast off her cursed pall, that she with wrathful Worm King at her side might judge and thence bring balance unto all. Worm King sounds like Bahamut. Alright, Containment Bay P1T6 is now accessible. Alright, we're gonna head in there as Dark Knight again. So let's go ahead and set this up so that I can do this solo. Undersized party, confirm, and then we're going to go for Containment Bay P1T6. Alright, history tells of a Mericidian nation comprised of a multitude of races, the foundations of which were built on the worship of a single deity, the goddess. She was simply known, graced the souls of her worshippers with perfect equilibrium, binding their disparate societies in gilded chains of harmony. In the present day, she is better known as Sophia, with one with incalculably powerful icons of the warring triad, right? After 5,000 years of imprisonment, her failed plans for vengeance once more threaten to come to fruition. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Oh, and I closed out the duty finder. Alright, let's make sure that we're still an undersized party. Yep. Go. Let's head on in.
I leave the goddess in your capable hands. Just watch out for her worshippers.
All right. So, let's go ahead and get on to it.
The unenlightened come.
Let's drop down the salted earth. All right. In there.
Daughter, be the bearer of my wisdom.
Oop, get out of there.
Know you the full weight of death.
Alright, that's gonna hit there. Nothing I really need to worry about. Oop, get out from in front of her.
To me, my faithful.
Here are the worshippers. Look away. I will just knock them down one at a time. Oh, right.
Come forth, scales of revelation.
Here we go.
I would know the weight of your souls.
Alright, she's gonna tilt the platform, and then the railings are gonna go away. So...
Can you bring equilibrium? I shall tip
then
back
she's-
the balance.
activate one side or the other. And if you aren't careful, you'll end up sliding off. Tip it that way. And drop one of those. Alright, no problem.
Sin must be balanced with suffering.
There's that donut AoE again. Oh, now we gotta look at where the multiple tethers are. That's the way things are gonna tilt.
Daughter, be the bearer of my wisdom.
Alright, there's the floating head. Stay out from in front of it. Let's drop the salted earth. No. Alright, which way is which? Okay, there we go. Over here. Oh, we got another ad. Deal with that. Oop. Come on, over here. There we go.
Sin must be balanced with suffering.
Alright, gonna be that one.
Daughter, be the bearer of my wisdom.
Oop, get out from in front of the face. Here we are. And we pretty much got her.
My revelations are lost.
All right, there we are. Piece of cake. Alright, I see the goddess is no more. Well done. Once Krile and Unalkalhai have rejoined us, we may safely depart. One thing yet puzzles me, however. How did Sophia's servants come to wake from their slumber? believe we have the answer to that. We discovered the remains of a Garlean soldier in an adjacent sector of the containment facility. It is likely the Fool ventured too close to Sophia during the Empire's previous incursion and was enthralled for his troubles. Another reminder, if any were needed, as to the incalculable threat posed by these beings. The goddess would not even have been conscious when she claimed the man's will, and yet his mistake granted her the means to release her servants, and would have resulted in her own liberation had he not been on hand to intervene. I do much wonder that the Icon's pawn was capable of so effectively manipulating the facility's containment systems. How came he by such rarefied knowledge? That too is easily explained. During our investigation, Krall discovered a subtle flaw in one of the mechanisms which held the goddess in check, a flaw which had plainly been added intentionally. Upon examining the facility's records of the period, we were able to piece together the story. It was a time toward the end of the Third Astral Era when the peoples of Eorzea faced extinction at the hands of the Allegan Empire. Sophia, a being of incomparable cunning, was said to have communicated certain plans to her servants through the medium of a trusted oracle. Following the oracle's instructions, they duly conspired with a rebel faction within Allag who, we believe, agreed to tamper with the prison intended for Sophia, and then the goddess and her thralls chanced to be captured, though we suspect that this had always been their plan. Indeed, the prison was situated at the heart of Allag, and we think that they intended to attack the city from within. They would merely have had to wait for rebels to exploit the weakness in their confines. But the conspirators' dealings with the Eorzea were exposed before they could enact their plot, and all were summarily executed. It seems that the flaw itself remained undiscovered, however, and might have remained so until the end of days had it not been for the actions of the Archbishop and subsequently the Garleans. I cannot help but wonder what might have come to pass had their scheme been successful. Mayhap the answer lies in the prophecy. Paul hath the right of it. Its words may be deciphered thus: the cursed Paul speaketh of Sophia's prison, from which she was supposed to emerge at the agreed hour. The Worm King, meanwhile, can be none other than the great Bahamut himself, then yet a prisoner, whom the goddess did intend to unleash upon Allag to set right the scales of justice. A foolhardy plan. Had it come to fruition, the two of them would surely have razed the realm. Naught would have been spared the devastation, the Eorzea homeland included. Their home already stood on the brink of oblivion. Mayhap they wished naught else but to purge the poison of Allag with primal fire. The tale teacheth us that even the greatest of man's creations may yet be brought low by a single act of treachery. The Allagans were fools to place their trust in technological bondage. To shackle such beings is but to delay the inevitable. Naught save their total destruction shall free us from their menace. Let us return now to the Rising Stones and there consider the final step of this most needful task. The threat posed by this facility is far greater than you imagine, Eorzea, and one not limited to the Icons themselves. Sophia's remaining servants must be put down. Warning, deactivating stasis chamber support systems will result in subject termination. Enter identification code to continue. Identification code accepted. Subjects terminated. Alright, so we need to return to the Rising Stones and conclude the quest. Alright, here we go. Is not amiss, Warrior of Light? Archon Yustella mentioned that there was a matter she wished to discuss. Well met, Ayame. Will you forgive me if I seem curt? Or you will forgive me if I seem curt, but I would settle an account with our young friend. While conducting a final sweep of Sophia's containment facility, we discovered that all of her remaining thralls had perished in their stasis chambers. This was your doing? Aye, it was. I chose to act upon the knowledge revealed within the tombstone we recovered. The true purpose of these prisoners is far more horrifying than we first assumed. The Alligans were not simply observing the icons and siphoning away their energies. They were conducting experiments in preparation for a far more ambitious project. If you recall, both the Fiend and the Goddess were imprisoned within massive spherical structures. These spheres were the prototypes which paved the way for the successful construction of an artificial celestial body. You speak of Dalamud. Aye. The icons' cages are unmistakably the same design as the Red Moon. To be plain, the research facility contains the seeds of 3 calamities which might feasibly be visited upon a chosen target. Eliminating one of them necessitated the destruction of the goddess's slumbering thralls, a distasteful task unbefitting one such as the Warrior of Light. Thus did I resolve to perform the deed myself. You have made your case, and 'tis apparent that we were not in full possession of the facts. Nevertheless, your notion of what may or may not be expected of Ayame is presumptuous in the extreme. When the Warrior of Light chose to join the Scions, she did so in the knowledge that she would be required to face and destroy not only the Primals, but also their fanatical servants, to which you term a distasteful task, is an essential part of our calling, a burden which every Scion is sworn to shoulder. I see. It would seem I misjudged the depth of your resolve. No matter. Assuming I have made myself understood, we need not speak of it again. There is, however, one other subject which merits discussion. You determined that Sophia's thralls were awoken by a Garlean soldier who had somehow gained access to the containment area, did you not? If that is the case, it seems highly doubtful that the interloper wandered into such a dangerous part of the facility by chance. Dissidents within the Empire claim that the 6th Legion is rife with agents under orders to thwart the Legatus mission by any means necessary. Lest you imagine that we have allies in Garlemald, I should clarify that their motive is wholly uncharitable. Regula Van Hydrus rose to the top of the Garlean military on merit alone, and is fiercely loyal to the Empire for recognizing his efforts. His compeers, by contrast, rose through the favor of the established order, and would accordingly do anything to see him fail. If they would be so reckless, you truly believe that the actions of these agents contributed to the recent crisis? Aye, and that they pose no less a risk to the realm than those loyal to the Emperor. Plainly, we must needs continue to do all in our power to prevent the technologies of Allag from falling into the hands of Ban. On that point, at least, we have ever been in complete agreement. Alright, interesting. So now we have one more of the Warring Triad to deal with. But we'll probably get to that one for next episode. So for now, we'll go ahead and stop here. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment. And I will see you next time.